Right guys, how are we? Welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be pretty much off the cuff. It's a video that I wish was out there for me to watch prior to, taking Antabuse, which I have done very briefly, but we'll get into that. I started looking into Antabuse because I was desperate. I was looking for the magic pill, and apparently, yeah, it's a magic pill. It's a fucking magic pill that makes you very sick very quickly. But it's a pill that I had researched, and I decided on my own to ask my doctor if he thought it may be right for me. Now, at the time, I was struggling with alcohol addiction, alcoholism, alcohol misuse, alcohol use disorder. I don't know. I was living like an alcoholic, and I'd been doing that for about 2 years, and I got to the point where I was getting really fucking worried. I was getting really anxious in general about my health, and I felt like, fuck man, if I can't do this by myself, surely there's got to be something out there. There's got to be something that reduces the cravings or, makes me so sick when I drink that I just won't want to drink anymore. And it just so happened that there was something out there. And that thing is called Antabuse. I probably researched it. Well, I mean, I didn't really research it. I did what I normally do. I go to YouTube and I write in my story or my experience or my thoughts on a particular thing, and I watch a video very similar to this where a person just sits down, a random person, and talks about openly and honestly, one-on-one, their experience. That's the type of shit that I enjoy. I don't like the scientific breakdown and all that shit. I like personal stories one-on-one, and that's what I'm giving you, okay? So I started looking into it more and more, and then, like I said, I made an appointment with my doctor, and he was quite surprised. I mean, it's not every day that someone my age, 32, looking, relatively healthy, walks into a doctor's office and says, I need Antabuse. But I did, and I backed myself, and I said, you know what? I know it's probably not the most, basically, I mean, there's no guarantee it's going to work, but I'm willing to try anything, and that's where I was at. Now, prior to taking it, prior to them even giving me a script, I had to get some blood tests done, and that was to check my liver function, because Antabuse can be quite harsh on the liver, I believe. Now, this video is not going to be about anything scientific. I am not a doctor. I am not recommending anything to anyone. I'm just giving you my story. So, got the blood test results back, and my liver was thankfully in good shape. But one thing that I did pick up on, which funnily enough, I would never have known unless I got this specific set of blood tests, was my cholesterol was sky high. My cholesterol was at 8.5. Now that may be due to some alcohol, but mostly would be due to genetics. And so thankfully, I found that I had super sky high cholesterol, and they were never really going to test my cholesterol for anything else other than possibly this Antabuse set of bloods. And so I actually got 2 prescriptions in the end. I got a statin to bring my cholesterol down, and I got my prescription for Antabuse. And I filled both prescriptions, and I went home and I put my 2 little pill bottles on the counter, and the next day I woke up and I took my cholesterol medication, but I simply just couldn't bring myself to take that Antabuse tablet. And the next day I woke up and I took my cholesterol med, and I just couldn't take it. I had this magic pill that I'd researched, and I'd thought, right, this is it. As soon as I take that pill, I'm going to be rid of my alcohol addiction, but I still couldn't take it. And you know why? Because I didn't want to quit. I was too scared. I was too scared to take that pill and then later on that day want to drink so badly that I was just going to do it anyway. I was too scared. I knew myself too well. If I want something, I'm going to get it. And if I want that drink, I'm going to have it. And if I take that tablet, I'm not going to be able to have it. And that didn't sit well with me. I wasn't in control anymore. No, like I was in control, but I wasn't. Anyway, look, this is about my experience. And I've wanted to make this video for a long time because it's entertaining. It's fucking, it wasn't the drug for me. It wasn't the pill for me, but I did end up taking it very briefly. And we're going to get into that part of the story now. So I had this bottle of pills for 3 months before taking it, or before getting into a situation where I felt like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And in the end, I was in a detox. I checked myself into a detox. I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to take these pills with me as a backup. And if I feel myself wavering in my decision to stop drinking, then I would pop one of those pills and I'd be in the right environment. I'd be in a detox environment, very therapeutic, positive, sober, and it would be a good time for me to take it. And so 3 days into that detox, I ended up popping my first pill. And I woke up and I did it before I could even think about it, and I moved on with my day. And the next day, I think that was day 4 of no drinking, I popped my second pill. And I thought, whoa, okay, this is it. This is it, you've done it. 2 pills in. I'd been told that, you know, the longer, the more consistent, the longer period of time that you've taken it, the longer it's going to take to get out of your system. So the longer you take it, the longer you're going to have to stop for until you're even capable of handling a drink, or until your body is even capable of handling a drink. Otherwise, you're going to get very, very, very sick. And that was not something I wanted. So what happened was, I'd been creating a YouTube video series called Rugby Player Reacts to the top 100 NFL players of the year. And I'd been creating that content, that YouTube video series, for 4 years. And unbeknownst to me, on that day 4 of detox, having taken my second Antabuse pill, I found that the 2022 version of those videos that I was going to react to had just dropped. They'd just dropped them on YouTube. And I saw that, and I really, really, really wanted to check myself out of this fucking detox, go home, sit down, and react to these videos and create this content. That's what made me happy. That's what made me happy. It made me a hell of a lot more happy than what I was feeling in the detox. So the one thing that I'm leaving out from this story is the fact that I hadn't made a YouTube video without drinking beforehand for a good 1.5 years. Okay, that was my vicious cycle, was the fact that I enjoyed making content so much on YouTube, but I also didn't feel capable of doing it without having a drink. So, in my fucked up brain, I thought, okay, so I've taken 2 pills. I'm going to stop taking the pills. That's the first thing. And I'm going to check myself out of this motherfucking place in 3 days. So I'm going to stop taking the pills. I'm going to have 3 days off, and I'm going to check myself out. I'm going to go to the bottle store. I'm going to buy some alcohol. I'm going to sit down, drink, and make YouTube videos. And I fantasized about that for the next 2 days straight. I stopped taking the Antabuse, not because I wanted to drink, but because I knew there was no way I was going to be able to follow through and make these 100 YouTube videos that I'd made the years previous without drinking. So it's a really fucked up cycle that I was in. I felt like I had to drink to put me in the right mood to make the content. I was relying on the content to pay my bills. So I took Antabuse for 2 days. I left the detox on day 6. I went to the bottle store. I did exactly what I wanted to do. Got a big bag of ice, a big bottle of whiskey, a big bottle of Coke, went home, sat down, and thought, right, okay, the moment of truth. You didn't take Antabuse for very long. It's most probably going to still be in your system somewhat. Do we do this? Do we test this? And I was pretty fucking scared. I was pretty anxious, pretty pretty apprehensive, but you know what? I took a sip, and instantly I felt my cheeks flare up. They went a bright fucking red. Red as a beetroot, redder than they've ever been in my life. And they've been red. So I knew, okay, right, the Antabuse is doing its thing. And I can only imagine what it would feel like if you'd been taking it for 30, 60, 90 days straight and then you tried to drink. It's just an absolute no-no. People end up in hospital. They feel like they're dying because they pretty much are as close to dying as you're going to get. Your body cannot and will not process alcohol. That's what Antabuse does. It removes your body's ability to process alcohol. So basically, you're taking in straight poison, your liver is not processing it, and you are going to feel the effects of that. and that's what I did, you know. So I actually ended up probably drinking, I'm going to say, 10 standard drinks that night. I took it very slowly. I took it very cautiously. But I can safely say that there are side effects. And I was feeling them even after just 2 tablets. So my face blew up like a fucking beetroot. When I went to take a really deep breath, it was as if my lung capacity was a quarter of what it should be. I remember feeling, holy shit. I mean, if this gets any worse, I may have to go to hospital. But it didn't. It didn't. I had a level of symptoms, and they were there. I did the same thing the next night. The level of symptoms were still there, but slightly less. And on the third night of drinking and making YouTube videos, the symptoms were pretty much gone. And I thought, okay, here I am again, in the same fucking cycle, doing the same fucking thing. And Antabuse didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I knew that the change was going to have to be here. Antabuse was way too scary for me. It took me 3 months to even try it. I had to get in a detox to even be in the right mindset to try it. I took it for 2 days and I realized, you know what? Nah, I want to drink. And I'm so fucking scared of having a drink on this shit. I'm going to stop now. I need to stop taking it now. And I did. But I can tell you that it does work for some people. It certainly does. And then again, for others, they can take it and still drink. Now, I don't know how, what percentage of the population that would be, but it certainly wasn't me. I have felt some of the side effects from Antabuse. They weren't pleasant, and they could have only gotten worse from there. So, you know, if I feel like I just needed to make this video. I wanted to bring my experience with Antabuse to the channel because this is the type of video that I would have appreciated back when I was considering doing it, considering taking it. Now, like I said at the start, you know, there's been positives. I found out that my cholesterol was sky high, and I've been medicating it ever since. So that's good. I found out that Antabuse does work, and I now have the knowledge and the information to share with anyone else if they've got any questions or they're struggling. I mean, I can always throw this up as an option. It's not an option for everyone. It is scary, but if you are where I was and you were feeling that desperate, you're gonna try something. You're gonna try anything. Just don't drink on it. The longer you're on the medication, the longer it's going to take for it to get completely out of your system. And, you know, don't even try it. Don't do what I did. How fucking stupid was I to stop taking this medication just because I had to go and make some YouTube videos? Well, that's my story, and that's what you'll get from this YouTube channel is my story, unfiltered, honest. It's all I can offer. So unfortunately, the pressure I put on myself to create content for YouTube sort of, you know, cancelled my plans to take Antabuse. You know, it is very scary for me to think that look, you're only going to take it if you're very, very serious about this. You need to quit. You want to quit. You've tried everything. This is going to force you to stop drinking. It is. It simply is. And it's a scary thing. It is a serious thing. You're going to have to at least discuss it with your doctor before they go anywhere near prescribing this to you, because obviously you could die. They're going to give you a bottle of pills that if you don't take them right, if you don't do it in the right way, and if you abuse them, ironically, you abuse Antabuse, and you go and drink, your life could be on the line. I mean, your safety and you could get really, really sick. So that a doctor is only going to give them to you if they feel like you're serious, if they feel like you're responsible enough to take them when and if you see fit. And I don't know if I was the right person to do that, but I went in there, I pushed for it, I got them, and it's an option. It's an option for anyone else out there. It's an option. And sometimes that's all you need. So thanks for listening, guys. That was my story about Antabuse. Very fleeting experience, but an experience all the same. Side effects without drinking? Absolutely none. Side effects drinking, after having only taken 2 tablets, leaving it for 2 days, red face, hard to breathe, headache, and it's just scary. You don't want to do it. I did it, so you don't have to, okay? It's true. It's true. You drink after taking Antabuse and you're going to feel like you're dying. Don't do it. I don't know if I agree with Antabuse or not. I don't know. But like I said, it's a tool, and sometimes that's all you need. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.